while driving his Rolls, Tony. Have you ever run out of gas?
I'm Tony Kornheiser, no, because whenever I'm running low, I just siphon a gallon out of the neighbor's SUV. But that's not the point here.
Oh, okay.
The point is, what is Brooks Koepka doing with a Rolls Royce?
Why wouldn't he have one?
Isn't that...
Why wouldn't he?
What, do you have one?
Do you think I make the same money as Brooks Koepka? Huh? What planet are you on?
No, but you make enough money for a Rolls Royce.
No, I don't.
You want one.
No, I don't.
I'm just surprised
Brooks
at you.
Koepka can drive a Rolls.
I've been in a Rolls Royce in my life with Reggie Jackson.
Oh!
He owned one, and we drove across Alligator Alley in Florida 100 years ago. Reggie Jackson, he owned one. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Kyrie Irving puts on his shoes, Steph Curry heads to the Garden, and Spencer Rattler finds a new home. But we begin today with Los Angeles Rams going to Arizona and beating the Cardinals 30-23, knocking the Cardinals from the 1 seed in the NFC down to the 3 seed. This game avenges one earlier in the year when the Cardinals beat the Rams in Los Angeles. Green Bay is now the number 1 seed. Tampa Bay is the 2. Wilbon, you were right. You said the Rams would win this game. Kyler Murray says he is not discouraged by what happened in the game. Should he be?
No, Tone, I don't think he needs to be discouraged. I mean, they didn't play badly. As a matter of fact, they did some things pretty well. If you take away that unbelievable play that Aaron Donald makes to get a pinky or a couple of fingers on a tipped pass that turns into an interception, and turns the game. I mean, it's an even game. It's an even game the way it played out, except for the score. And they could thank Aaron Donald for his 3 sacks and that tip. So, no, there's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed about or even discouraged about, Tony. I will say this. Arizona did some dopey management things with the clock and some weird plays late in the game that might have allowed them to still tie it and take it to overtime. They executed a lot of things properly. So discouraged, no.
Yeah, so I don't like to dwell on one play. I'm not a guy who says the game turned on a single play, particularly not one in the first quarter, because you don't think that could ever be decisive. But the Cardinals were up 3-0, and they were driving the length of the field for what looked like a touchdown. And I felt if they went up 10-0 at home, they were going to win that game. And Kyler Murray threw an interception. I think it was picked off right around the 2. And to me, that was enormously impactful for the rest of the game. Because the Rams came down.
I think the Rams. It was tipped. Aaron Donald
I think the Rams I think OBJ got a touchdown later on that drive or maybe the next drive. Whatever it was, that was enormously impactful in that particular game. The Cardinals have a couple of statistics that amaze me. And it's maybe why they don't care about being the number 1 seed if they don't, because they don't care about being at home. They're 7-0 on the road. They're 4-3 at home. They got 11 turnovers at home and only 2 on the road. Now, the problem, of course, is that at some point you may have to go to a cold weather city. They haven't had to do it all year. Their next 2 road games, Detroit and Dallas, are indoors. If they end up in Green Bay, they're in trouble, it seems to me. But maybe being on the road won't matter to them.
Well, it doesn't seem like it. I think they're 3-3 at home, I think. Right? And they've won. They're 7-0 on the road. That gives them 10.
Oh, I think they're 10-4. Okay.
But the point is the point. And you're right. And so what is it? Tony, there's something about that team that just seems lacking to me. I thought that all year long. I root for them. I want to see them win.
Right.
I do. There's something not, so-so about them. And it looks like concentration at certain points. When they get down to the goal line, when they have these turnovers at home, it just seems they get a little lax to me.
You know where I was on the Rams.
Yeah.
As soon as the trade was made for Stafford, I said they'd be in the Super Bowl.
You're in good shape. You're still in good shape.
They needed this game last night to beat a good team. And they've got OBJ, and he's got 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games, which is a lot. And they've got, maybe Sony Michel is their runner.
Now he's got
Cooper
COVID.
Kupp.
I mean, he's in the COVID protocol.
Well, but that's this
OBJ.
Week. That's not in the playoffs.
Right,
not in the playoffs.
That's right.
Cooper Kupp is going for the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Lead the league in yards,
he's great.
in catches, and touchdowns.
They're going to get hit.
But the problem, what's scary in the long term?
What?
What's scary in the long term is that Matthew Stafford is 0-3 in the playoffs with 4 touchdowns and 3 picks in the playoffs. He's been great the last 3 games, but I don't know.
He's got a better team.
I don't know.
Better team, better people around him. He's got 2 great receivers. They
true.
were going to win that game last night. Your team is still in good position. Don't start to, wobble now. We have a Kyrie Irving update, maybe. The Nets star point guard posted a video of himself putting on basketball shoes this morning. You can see him lacing them up. Those are the Kyrie 8s, I'm told. This comes on the heels of a report in The Athletic citing renewed optimism of Irving returning to the team this season. He's been sidelined, of course, after refusing to be vaccinated. Tone, what would Irving's return mean for the Nets?
So I'm going to leave the whole shoe issue to you, and I'm going to deal with this question very specifically. On paper, if he came back, they'd be the best team in the NBA, in my opinion. On paper. If his teammates trust him, then it'll work out. If his teammates don't trust him, then it becomes a little uneasy.
Yeah.
I know I would not trust him. I would not. Presumably, it would mean that he would be totally vaccinated because the Nets have said publicly, we're not going to let him just practice and just play road games. He's got to be all in. And with the vaccine mandate in the city of New York, he'd have to be completely vaccinated. Mike, beyond this, I don't really know what to say. I personally think he's a bad teammate and an unreliable teammate. I know he's a great talent. What happens the first day he says, oh, I want a personal day? What do his teammates think about that?
Yeah.
You can spend your life waiting for this guy. It's like waiting for Godot.
Okay. And so check, please, on that part of this discussion, because you know I don't disagree with a word you've said. The news here is Kyrie to tens of millions of people who are a lot younger than you and me and who pay attention to this stuff. The news is the shot, the video of him lacing up what appear to be Kyrie 8s. You know I wouldn't know this. I was just given an updated Christmas list on a PDF from my 13-year-old who wears Kyrie's as his dad. You're missing the point. These are the Kyrie 8s. That's why I didn't ask you for the Kyrie 7s on the previous list. And it's not just my house. J.J. Redick just gave voice to this. He and Richard Jefferson. You have to promote shoes, Tony. Kyrie can't promote shoes when he's at home because he's not vaccinated and can't play. So, do we think this is a hint I'm ready to come back? Or do we think this is promotion of my new shoe the week before Christmas? Which one seems more like Kyrie to you? Because the news is not that he's not vaccinated yet. The news is the video of the shoes being tied. What does it mean?
Just let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Give me a brief answer. What is the constituency exactly for his shoes when he's not even playing and you know, he's not a reliable teammate?
Really?
I'm asking.
Because I can show you my Amex bill and I can tell you where the constituency is and every kid in the back of my SUV every weekend over the last 4 years. What?
All right. Look, on the larger question, would he help the team?
Yeah.
Sure,
yeah. Okay,
he's a
what?
great
That's like
player.
we're going to debate that?
Sure.
Anybody going to say no to that? No.
Let's move on.
No to that.
Let's move on to someone who's actually on the court tonight.
Oh, good.
Steph Curry. Now 1 3-pointer away from tying Ray Allen for the all-time three-point record. 2 3-pointers away from setting the record himself. Curry figures to do that tonight in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks. Wilbon, how should Curry feel about setting the record in the Garden?
Well, Tony, I know how he would feel about that, even though we talked before. Just about places that players love to play, and it's no secret. The number one place where players love to play now, and it's been this way for, 30 years, it seems, is Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. And it's just going to be great. Steph Curry, like LeBron, when you get older and you've been that important to this game in this generation, those guys are historians. They know every place and what it means and who did what there. They love it. So Steph Curry's going to love this. But, Tony, he should be relieved because this thing has gone on for a couple of games now, and he's not shot well. He shot terribly, and it's no big deal because Steph Curry's the greatest shooter ever, no matter when he breaks this record and no matter where he breaks the record. The rest of his team, I would presume, would say, good, now let's get on to the mission of winning a championship this season.
Yeah, I'm going to get nostalgic for a few seconds here because I'm a native New Yorker and because I grew up going to Madison Square Garden. And then when I was a sports writer at the New York Times and Newsday, I went to hundreds of events there, basketball events, college and pro. I think it's the greatest basketball palace that there's ever been. I was there when Willis Reed limped out in the finals. I was there when Reggie Miller scored 8 points in what seemed to be a second and a half. I was there when John Thompson opened his jacket to reveal the sweater, the same as Louis Carnesecca.
Yeah.
Right? So I saw Will Chamberlain play there. I saw Bill Russell play there. I saw Pete Maravich play there as a collegiate. I saw that.
How many did he
so
get?
It's a very.
How many did Maravich get that night?
He played against Army and he only got about 19 or 20. He didn't get that many points. Ooh. Bobby Knight coached against him, if I remember correctly. So that's a long time ago. So, I mean, I think if Steph Curry can't break this record on his own home court, that the Garden is the perfect place for him to do it. I know that he's been struggling. I think, 12 for 46. It's some bad number recently. But he's going to get it unless he only gets one tonight, and only 6 times in the past 2 years has only gotten 1 3. And I don't think everybody's going to be happy. Mike, I agree with you. They're going to move on from this. They'll be a better basketball team when this is behind
And by the way, Reggie Miller
he's going to break
at the
this
table
record
with
by
the call.
1,000.
Reggie Miller with
and
the
that's
call.
Good.
It is. There's some historic justice in that. That's great.
That's fine. He's going to break it by 1,000. So only the people that were there for this will remember that part of it. He's not retiring. Let's take a break. Coming up, which team is more likely to win the AFC, the Chiefs or the Patriots?
And Tony wants to hand the MVP award to Aaron Rodgers. But doesn't Cowboys game record Micah Parsons deserve just as much love? Reggie at the table.
So you think this is about shoes? This is about Kyrie promoting shoes.
I didn't think of this on my own. I listened to J.J. Redick, Richard Jefferson Perk, and then my son saying I want the 8s for Christmas. What
So
8?
he's not coming back.
Presented by Truly Hard Seltzer, part of Happy Hour.
Time for toss-up. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, finishes the show. Notes that the sun set hours ago, sees the parallel of the nighttime of his own life descending upon him, and decides to spend a few of his remaining hours watching Duke pound a 3-7 South Carolina State team on the ACC network.
Okay, Hemingway.
What's first?
Toss-up, more likely to win the AFC, the Patriots or the Chiefs?
All right, they got the same record. Let's see what they got left. The Patriots have at Colts, home Bills, home Jaguars, at Dolphins. That feels like 2-2 at the worst.
At
Probably
Jaguars
3-1.
Jaguars helps.
They got Jacksonville and Miami are under 500. The Chiefs have at Chargers this Thursday, home Steelers, at Bengals, at Broncos. All those teams are in the playoff mix. All those teams are at least 500. I think that's a harder schedule. And I don't think Belichick is going to take his foot off the gas. And Kansas City needs help because they're the 3 right now. So I will say New England.
Yeah, Tony, I was trying to figure out the way I could package it to say the Chiefs arrogantly and loudly, and I can't. I mean, I might think it's the Chiefs because the Chiefs the boat has turned the corner. Who said that a few weeks ago? Did Joe Burrow say that the boat has turned something?
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had the ship turn the corner.
To have happened, except now Kansas City's best, most accomplished defensive player apparently is in virus protocol as well. So who knows who's going to be even eligible for these games as we get closer to the beginning of January. I'll say the Patriots now, Tony. The Jacksonville is the only automatic of all those teams that both those teams play. The only opponent who's an automatic is Jacksonville, so I'll go with the Chiefs.
No, you won't go with the Chiefs.
I'll go with the Patriots.
You'll go with the Patriots.
Go with the Patriots.
Thank you. I'm listening.
Yes.
You're in my ear. I get this. Let's go next.
Toss-up, who's been more valuable to his team, Aaron Rodgers or Micah Parsons?
Micah Parsons is great. He's a great rookie. He's absolutely great. He's transformed the Dallas defense. The Dallas defense was 28th in points allowed last year. He gets there, they're 12th. His presence on this team has meant more to Dallas than Dak Prescott coming back, if you have to make that choice.
Yep.
But I'm going to say it's Aaron Rodgers who's more valuable to his team. He missed 1 game because of COVID. How'd that work out? Who do you think won that? Packers didn't win that. Packers got 7 points in that game. He's 10-2 as a starter. It's the best mark of any quarterback in the league so far this year. I want to get this correct. I know he's got the highest rating of any quarterback. He's got 27 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, which is a better ratio even than Tom Brady. He's the juice that makes that team go. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Just realize it. I liked you so much better before you start reciting producer-given numbers every day. I don't know when that started, actually, but let me go to something that matters more to me. Aaron Rodgers has the ball every snap. Of course, he's more valuable. He's got the ball. And even if his defense stinks like it did against the Bears on Sunday, what night was that? Sunday night, allowing more points than had ever been scored in that game between those two teams that have played 100 times. It's Aaron Rodgers. Now, Micah Parsons, my God. He's Lawrence Taylor, Tony. And you know what Taylor did? He played in twice as many Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers. Micah Parsons is a beast.
You hijacked the show yesterday. You hijacked the show to talk about Micah Parsons 5 minutes after we were done with that. And you're a defense guy. You always talk about defense, but
they can't control the game. I'm not going to say Richard Dent, one of the great defenders of all time, was as important as the starting quarterback from the Super Bowl team. Don't be a dope. Stop. This is what numbers do to you.
Inhaling too many shoes.
Have morphed
you stuck
your
nose
brain.
in too many Kyrie 8s. That's it. Let's take one last break. Still to come, Spencer Rattler has found a new school to play for.
And have the reports of Kevin Love's demise been greatly exaggerated. By the way, Matthew not a shot at getting Kyrie Irving shoes. Kyrie 8, got no chance. Come up with a new list. Drop a new list on me soon.
I don't have this problem, man.
Tonight on SportsCenter at 6 Eastern, dissecting Jerry Jones's new comments, characterizing Dak Prescott's recent struggles as a slump. Plus, after Arizona's loss, assessing the race for the top seed in the...
Presented by Truly Hard Seltzer, part of Happy Hour.
Time for toss-up. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, finishes the show. Notes that the sun set hours ago, sees the parallel of the nighttime of his own life descending upon him, and decides to spend a few of his remaining hours watching Duke pound a 3-7 South Carolina State team on the ACC network.
Okay, Hemingway.
What's first?
Toss-up, more likely to win the AFC, the Patriots or the Chiefs?
All right, they got the same record. Let's see what they got left. The Patriots have at Colts, home Bills, home Jaguars, at Dolphins. That feels like 2-2 at the worst. Probably 3-1. They got Jacksonville and Miami are under 500. The Chiefs have at Chargers this Thursday, home Steelers, at Bengals, at Broncos. All those teams are in the playoff mix. All those teams are at least 500. I think that's a harder schedule. And I don't think Belichick is going to take his foot off the gas. And Kansas City needs help because they're the 3 right now. So I will say New England.
Yeah, Tony, I was trying to figure out the way I could package it to say the Chiefs arrogantly and loudly, and I can't. I mean, I might think it's the Chiefs because the Chiefs the boat has turned the corner. Who said that a few weeks ago? Did Joe Burrow say that the boat has turned something?
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had the ship turn the corner.
To have happened, except now Kansas City's best, most accomplished defensive player apparently is in virus protocol as well. So who knows who's going to be even eligible for these games as we get closer to the beginning of January. I'll say the Patriots now, Tony. The Jacksonville is the only automatic of all those teams that both those teams play. The only opponent who's an automatic is Jacksonville, so I'll go with the Chiefs.
No, you won't go with the Chiefs.
I'll go with the Patriots.
You go with the Patriots.
Go with the Patriots.
Thank you. I'm listening.
Yes.
You're in my ear. I get this. Let's go next.
Toss-up, who's been more valuable to his team, Aaron Rodgers or Micah Parsons?
Micah Parsons is great. He's a great rookie. He's absolutely great. He's transformed the Dallas defense. The Dallas defense was 28th in points allowed last year. He gets there, they're 12th. His presence on this team has meant more to Dallas than Dak Prescott coming back, if you have to make that choice.
Yep.
But I'm going to say it's Aaron Rodgers who's more valuable to his team. He missed 1 game because of COVID. How'd that work out? Who do you think won that? Packers didn't win that. Packers got 7 points in that game. He's 10-2 as a starter. It's the best mark of any quarterback in the league so far this year. I want to get this correct. I know he's got the highest rating of any quarterback. He's got 27 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, which is a better ratio even than Tom Brady. He's the juice that makes that team go. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Just realize it. I liked you so much better before you start reciting producer-given numbers every day. I don't know when that started, actually, but let me go to something that matters more to me. Aaron Rodgers has the ball every snap. Of course, he's more valuable. He's got the ball. And even if his defense stinks like it did against the Bears on Sunday, what night was that? Sunday night, allowing more points than had ever been scored in that game between those two teams that have played 100 times. It's Aaron Rodgers. Now, Micah Parsons, my God. He's Lawrence Taylor, Tony. And you know what Taylor did? He played in twice as many Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers. Micah Parsons is a beast.
You hijacked the show yesterday. You hijacked the show to talk about Micah Parsons. 5 minutes after we were done with
Yeah.
that. And you're a defense guy. You always talk about defense,
but they
you're
can't
picking
control
Aaron
the
Rodgers.
game. I'm not going to say
You're picking
Richard
Aaron
Dent,
Rodgers.
one of the great defenders
Really?
of all time, was as important
So
as a
weird.
starting quarterback from the Super Bowl team. Don't be a dope. Stop. This is what numbers do to
You've
you.
been hailing too many
Numbers
shoes.
have morphed
You stuck
your
your nose
brain.
in too many Kyrie
It's what
8s.
they've
That's
done.
it. Let's take one last break. Still to come, Spencer Rattler has found a new school to play for.
And have the reports of Kevin Love's demise been greatly exaggerated. By the way, Matthew not a shot at getting Kyrie Irving shoes. Kyrie 8, got no chance. Come up with a new list. Drop a new list on me soon.
I don't have this problem, man.
Tonight on SportsCenter at 6 Eastern, dissecting Jerry Jones's new comments, characterizing Dak Prescott's recent struggles as a slump. Plus, after Arizona's loss, assessing the race for the top seed in the